Chrysalis Sun here with BeTheVibe.com, and again I'm outside filming in my lovely herb house, getting some of this beautiful morning sunlight and birds and nature, and I really like this aesthetic, so I'll probably be filming out here quite often. So, but anyways, who are we talking about this week? This week's Crystals for the Zodiac is dedicated to my Geminis. So, as I said in last week's series, I was really excited about doing my Geminis, or doing this segment for my Geminis, because, you know, I really love you guys. Truly, truly, truly do. I'm very well aware that you guys do not have a good reputation amongst the Zodiacs. You know, what I commonly hear is that you guys are known, or people feel like you guys are two-faced. And you know, and I know what that energy is about, and I'll actually talk more about that, you know, and explain what that is a little bit later. But I'm partial to Geminis because personally I have a lot of Gemini in my birth chart, so I understand the energy very well, and I'm very familiar with the energy. So I have a lot of great tools and tips for you guys in this week's series. So my Geminis, who are you? You guys are born between May 20th to about June 20th, right before the summer solstice. You guys are classified as an air element sign, and you're ruled by the planet Mercury. So Mercury is all about communication, you know, messages. You guys are definitely known for being the messengers of the zodiac. So a lot of times, you know, Geminis tend to be writers, public speakers, poets, authors, bloggers. You guys, you know, there's a lot of you guys that are actors and actresses, singers. So like Marilyn Monroe was a Gemini. Johnny Depp is a Gemini. Some other famous Geminis are like Tupac, obviously. Left Eye, and Kendrick Lamar, he's a Gemini as well. So you guys have that strong communication, that strong Mercury energy in your chart. You are also classified as mutable. So mutable means that you're adaptable and you go with the flow. So that speaks to some of that duplius energy that you guys are known for having. And you are represented by the twins, which also speaks to that double-sided nature. So you guys have a lot of positive attributes. You know, first and foremost, you're very generous. Like I said, adaptable. You're great communicators. You know, for being social and witty. You guys are very confident. For being very gentle, very affectionate, very curious. You have a strong curious nature, so you guys always want to find out as much as you can about everybody and everybody around you. So you're known for asking a lot of questions. Very intelligent, very independent, and that, you know, is reflected in your relationships with others. Very honest, you know, so you know, as much as you guys communicate, there's a lot of honesty in that communication. So some known challenges for Geminis is, you know, first and foremost, you guys are definitely inconsistent and flaky. You know, and that goes with the wind or the air element tied in with the twins, and you guys being adaptable. So you guys are known for just kind of switching up at any given moment. A lot of times you make plans and don't honor them. Sometimes you change your mind about things. Sometimes you commit to things and you just kind of flake out, or you don't follow. You know, there's no follow through. With that wind energy too is a certain level of indecisiveness with you guys. You know, you guys sometimes can be perceived as cold, but on the other hand, you guys can be moody, extremely moody. You know, which is an interesting dynamic. You know, to be cold but then also be moody, because coldness represents a detachment from emotions. And then moodiness represents being too much in your emotions. So the coldness and the moodiness are indicators of an imbalance in your emotions. There's a certain level of restlessness that comes with Gemini energy, and definitely impulsive, and that has a lot to do with that wind element as well. Based off of Gemini's known challenges, I pretty much pinpointed crystals that will help you all that fall into about 4 categories. So basically crystals that will help focus and ground you guys, because that's definitely first and foremost what you guys need. Crystals that help protect the crown chakra. Crystals that stimulate creativity to, assist with that writing or the communication aspect of your attributes. And crystals that balance your emotions. Now, in past videos, I know I've mentioned the importance of studying the birth chart and pinpointing, any particular elements that may be over an abundance or under an abundance. And a lot of times I will say that, if you're an air or a fire or, earth or water sign, that you don't want too much more of that particular element as far as your crystal recommendations. But Geminis are actually the exception. There are times where air element crystals actually really support Gemini energy. One example is amethyst. Now, I think the reason why is because amethyst is a air and water element. It's not pure air, but there's actually other air element crystals that do assist Gemini energy, like citrine is another example. So back to the amethyst. First of all, Geminis tend to be attracted to amethyst. It definitely supports the third eye and the crown chakra. And the reason why it's important is because it clears the channels for the messages that you guys receive. So you guys are constantly getting, the messages coming through. And a lot of times if there's a lack of a balance, or if your aura is not clear, if your chakras are not all open, that messages can get a little jumbled. Geminis tend to have a challenge with this. So amethyst helps with this. Again, it's an air and water element crystal, third eye and crown chakra, and it is tied to the planet Jupiter. So it helps with the expansion of the communication or the expansion of the messages that come through. Another really great crystal is clear quartz. Now, clear quartz is a universal crystal, which means that it's tied to all the planets, all the chakras, all the zodiacs. But if you want the ultimate, cleanser and purifier of that energy, of the aura, of the chakras, then clear quartz is it. So I definitely recommend it for my Geminis. Now, as far as grounding and focusing, because like I said, Geminis, you guys are everywhere. You're here today, gone tomorrow. A lot of times you have a hard time focusing, and it comes across in your communication. Typically, Geminis are known for talking really fast, and it's because you guys are processing so much information at once that it's like your mouth can't keep up with the messages that are coming through, or what's going on in your mind. Your mind is quick. And again, with me having so much Gemini in my chart, I'm actually guilty of this. I have to, it's really important to be mindful and be present, because you can start just going off and then realizing, damn, I'm talking too fast, or I just bombarded my friend with all this communication, all this they gotta process this. So I recommend my go-to recommendation for the grounding and the focusing of the energy is hematite. Hematite is one of those grounding crystals that's universal. I love it. It is fire and earth element. It is an iron oxide. So most iron, most minerals that have iron in them are going to just automatically ground you into the earth and bring you back down into focus. Because it connects with the earth, it's good for the root chakra, supports the root chakra, and it is tied to the planet Mars. So while it will ground you, it won't sedate you. It won't mellow out the energy. It'll ground you in a way where you can actually take all those ideas and all those messages and actually focus them into whatever it is that you want to focus them on. And for hematite, there's 2 different kinds. There's magnetic hematite and there's non-magnetic hematite. And I actually always recommend magnetic hematite, because what it does is the magnets balances the meridians of the body, and it also balances the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Another mineral that I recommend for my Geminis is Shungite. Now, I'm just now starting to work with Shungite, and honestly, I really so appreciate it as a mineral, because it is like the universal healing tool. on the physical level too. So Shungite is known for purifying water. It's known for eliminating cancer cells. It's known for slowing down the progression of the HIV and AIDS virus. Now, I call Shungite a mineral because it is a carbon-based, non-crystalline mineral. So non-crystalline means that it lacks a crystal structure, or it lacks crystal symmetry. So when you have minerals that are non-crystalline, you know, you can't classify them as crystals. But what helps with that though is that because it's not a crystal, it's really closely connected to earth element. So this is what makes Shungite really good for grounding and focusing. So, you know, when I use it, when I've used it on my clients, when my clients have used it on their own, the universal feeling is that oh, the birds. They're always out here playing and doing things. But anyways, that was a nice little distraction, the birds. But again, so the universal feeling with the Shungite is that it really just calms you, it brings you down, but not in a way that leaves you unmotivated, but in a way where you just feel just really grounded, very focused, very balanced. And when you touch Shungite, when you play with it, it just feels good. So creativity. Now again, like I said, you guys are the messengers, the writers, the poets, the artists, you know, the singers, the actors. So a lot of times, you know, you guys may experience blocks in your creative flow, or you need, you know, just kind of extra support in these areas. So a few crystals for that. The first is garnet. Now, you know, garnet is it's tied to the root and the heart chakra. So with the root chakra energy, you guys do get that balancing and that grounding and that creativity. It is tied to the planet Mars again, so you guys, you know, really resonate with crystals that are connected to the planet Mars. But you know, the big thing about garnet is that it also stimulates passion and desires, and you know, that second chakra energy as well. And so that's, you know, that's the seat of where our creativity comes from. So garnet is good. Another one is sodalite. Sodalite is tied to the throat chakra. It's actually connected to the moon, and it's a water and an air element crystal, same as amethyst. And so the biggest thing about sodalite is that it's going to, because it's tied to the throat chakra, that's automatically going to boost communication, but it also helps with any challenges that are throat chakra related. You know, so the thyroid, like, you know, any type of respiratory issues, you know, possibly not being able to communicate or having blockages in communication. So the sodalite definitely supports the Gemini in that area. Another crystal that people don't even consider as a healing aid is rubies. Now, rubies are more known for making great jewelry, but they are connected to the root and the heart chakra, straight fire energy. You know, they're associated with the sun, but rubies calm hyperactivity and they stimulate the pineal gland. So, you know, this makes them just wonderful, great, useful healing aids. So the last thing I want to address for my Geminis is that moodiness. You know, the lack of balance in the emotions, or the teeter from being extremely cold to being like extremely moody. So I have two crystals for you guys. The first one actually isn't a crystal. It's jet. And I love jet. And a lot of people don't realize that jet is actually fossilized driftwood, or basically petrified wood. But because it's connected to the earth, or it's actually a piece of the earth in that way, it's going to bring you down. You know, it has a lot of that calmness and supportive energy that agate has. But jet actually, you know, and the reason why I don't recommend agate for Geminis is because it's a little bit too mellow. You know, you guys don't need anything that mellow. But the jet just immediately balances your emotions and just bring you back to center. Another one that's great for you guys is desert rose. Now, desert rose is actually a form of selenite or gypsum. So it's connected to the moon. It's a water element stone, but because it's selenite, it connects you directly to angelic beings and higher realms, which helps support the messages that you guys receive. But desert rose specifically is a stone for the mind. It dissolves programs, so for those of you, who are shifting and growing and evolving, it helps to release and dissolve old programming, and it supports the spine, the nervous system, and all of that. So desert rose and jet for balancing your emotions. So that's it for this week's crystals for the zodiacs for my Gemini. I am here if you guys need me for specific questions. Again, this is a general tips and tools for my Gemini folks, but if you guys have specific cases, reach out to me. I'm starting to get a lot of emails and messages and ads on Facebook, Instagram, and communication from you guys, so keep that coming. I am approachable, I'm available. I am found on bethevibe.com. That's my website. You can email me at therapeuticvibrations@gmail.com. And some things coming up. I got some crystal courses that I am launching. So if you guys want information about that, reach out. And for those of you who are interested in getting your natal charts read, again, I recommend Shaman Hands with shamanhands.com. I think I'm going to put his information below. Well, it's going to be at the end of this video, but I'm also going to put it below in the descriptions for you guys so you can have that information. So that's it, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Crystals for the Zodiac. Next week will be Cancer. Peace.